Thee
Mhm.
NaySimone. How are you doing today?
I'm chilling in the cut, scratching my butt. You know how sister do. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, it is so hard to catch you, but you know you are my Tina to Ike. I don't know if that's a good relation.
I don't
My
know.
Rihanna to Chris. Listen, we do good things together, man. We do good stuff together. Um, what's been up, man? I finally get the chance to catch you. You was a big mega star now. You a TikTok star. Uh, IG star, 100,000, 160,000 views. Good
I
God, man.
mean, if we want to be like, precise, your girl's shooting at 180,000 right now, but it's light, not something light. You know what I'm saying? Something light.
Listen, I got to give a shout out. My dude, Jeffrey Leday, he is the host of the hit show Code Red. Every time we go live, he says how gorgeous you are. And he is not a person that thinks everybody is pretty. So, Jeff, I did the shout out for you. I'm doing my part, my
Thank
man.
you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. I'm Saturday chilling right now, so I'm just in chill mode. So you're gonna
Well,
get the real. You're gonna always get the real and the raw. You already know that, Horace. You always gonna get the real and the raw from me. I speak my
hell, everybody
mind. I speak my opinion. And I really don't care how other people may feel. Sometimes if I don't know something, I will ask, or if I'm unsure, I'm going to ask. But if I'm certain about the things I speak of, it's because that's how genuinely it is for me.
Well, everybody can't get you, so I feel honored. And in fact, I'm gonna make that connection with you and Jeff Leday because he's a big star with Code Red. That's a hit show. What's up, Omar? Hey, you went and got your vaccine? Your vaccine,
what vaccine?
the one that turned you into I Am Legend. Where your first vaccine at?
Listen,
No.
to be honest with you, at this present time, it's not happening. It's not happening. I don't trust it. I feel like they already had a vaccination, just like they already knew that this COVID was going to exist. And for people who think that no, you could catch you're going to catch it from contact. This is my own theory. Let me just put this out here. This is NaySimone's conspiracy theory. um, they the ones putting that virus out there in that air. Okay, if you notice every time they say if you travel, just consider yourself automatically COVID positive. I always feel like when people's traveling, why are they the ones that catch the virus the most? And people's like, well, they in the airports, they on the airplane. Well, think about it. Supermarkets are open. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of places that we all been at. There's a lot of people there, restaurants. So why is it only saying that when people flying? Because I really think they putting this virus out there in the air. That's just my own theory. But I think they already knew about COVID. I think they already had a vaccination, and I think they just kind of put a hold on it until they grew up this mass hysteria, so they can come out and be like boom and think that everybody was going to jump on it. Nobody trusts the government. At least I know I don't trust them. So no,
Yeah.
I didn't get the vaccination.
Well, this is where I go back into my political. My family calls me conspiracy brother. It's funny that the homeless population in Atlanta and most of these these urban areas aren't catching COVID. Second of all, I don't trust the government. I don't trust Bill Gates. You come up with a vaccine when you've been struggling to get one for AIDS and cancer and all that stuff,
And just the
and I
common
just feel like.
cold. Just the common cold. The common cold been around for
Mhm.
centuries. They never came up with a vaccination for a common cold.
Well, listen, depopulation, Bill Gates. I know people like, oh, I was on an argument on Twitter. Somebody's like, oh, COVID is real. It is. Oh, black people dying. We are. We always dying. But I'm saying depopulation is real. Bill Gates and eugenics and all that, even his background is real. The vaccine has already said to change your DNA structure. That's all of this stuff is like, and they just hit us with the if you take it, you'll get 1,500 or whatever. Like, come on, that's an insult. But people gonna line up and take it.
I'm not
So
taking it. I feel like there needs to be some more research. That's number one. There's some theories like in different countries. I think Russia. They started their vaccinations and they telling people they can't drink for 48 days because the alcohol will do something with the vaccination. So now they having all of these generic. So funny how all of these different generic vaccinations are already coming out. But here in America, in the States, we only know about the Moderna and we only know about Pfizer. But in Russia and these other countries, they already have a different vaccination out there. So I'm like, how do you guys have different vaccinations out here? And we only know about Moderna and Pfizer. So there's a lot of things that we just need to do research on. If you feel the need to go out there and get your vaccination, I'm not the one to tell anybody what they should and shouldn't do, but just do your research because they saying that these vaccinations act accordingly to different ethnicities. So we already know there's it's going to hurt more of the urban communities more than anybody else. So
Well, like I said, I have a problem with people that already say it's too many black people giving me a vaccine. You know what I mean? Bill Gates, the stuff he's done in India and Africa alone. And most of all, he's not a doctor. He's a rich
no.
man. He's not a
Yep.
doctor. I
Yep.
don't know how we, so I've actually argued with people that's like, oh, I'm gonna do it. And people dying, like people die every day from the flu. There's a lot of stuff people die every day from. I'm not taking away from COVID. I'm just saying for me and my religious background and just reading a little scripture here and there, seems like they're ushering us into a new world. So I'm not gonna knowingly run into that.
And you know what's crazy? Think about it. So I think the COVID, yes, COVID is definitely here for depopulation because the first people that's leaving here the earth are the ones with those underlying causes, the ones that are ill.
Mhm.
Those are the first ones to be distinct because they know that the COVID is going to affect those that have those underlying diseases. I mean, diseases. Now, check this out. You go take a test. We don't even know if this test is even being tested properly because there are people who test so many times. One test might come up positive, the next test might come up negative. So what happens if you get a positive test now? Before the vaccination even came about, what did they tell you? To go in quarantine for 14 days. So you
Mhm.
go quarantine for 14 days, you feel better, you back out in the world, right?
Mhm.
So if you feeling better after 14 days with just a positive symptom, why are they trying to push a vaccine on us? If your immune system can already fight it to the point where you didn't become ill, you didn't have any symptoms, and you quarantine for 14 days and now you back out in the world, why are they pushing this vaccination? That's something I want to know. If our immune system is already fighting it, now everybody immune system can't fight it, and that's those who's ending up in the hospital. And then the ones that end up in the hospital, they putting them on ventilators, and you know what happens when they get on ventilators. But I'm just trying to understand why they really, really. You got to think about it. Why they really, really trying to push this vaccination. So
Yeah,
that's
I,
just that's just my that's just my little theory on it. Like if our immune system can fight it already, then why should we have to take the vaccination?
Well, hey Omar, hey Dranisha. Well, I'll say this. It goes back to the theory. Now, this is the one that I can respect about Trump. He didn't handle it well, like everybody say, blah blah blah. But I'm have an issue with mandatory vaccinations. So Biden says we're not going to make you get mandatory vaccinations. However, I'm already hearing comments where jobs and places saying to work here, you're going to have to get a vaccination. So now you're infringing on people's religious beliefs. I have a neighbor, he has never been to the doctor. He don't believe in immunization. He don't believe in that. And you're going to say you're going to make him get that? I mean, we've heard stories like that before. Second of all, now they're saying you can't travel if you don't have the card. Like, we didn't think it was going to be COVID, but this sounds a lot like the stories that you heard about the end times where you're going to have to take the mark. And then they're like, well, if you get the shot, they can shine a light on your skin and see if it turns green, you got the shot. A lot of that stuff, man. Maybe I'm conspiracy brother, but me personally, that's what my mind is.
I
And
just don't trust it. They like I said, there was things here way before COVID that they could never come up with a vaccination. Maybe they didn't want to come up with a vaccination because it's easier to keep making money off of us if we continue to keep these diseases dormant just so they can say, hey, you got to continue to take this vaccination. That's how the pharmaceuticals make a lot of money. So, I just don't trust it. I
I think
really
that's my
just don't
biggest
trust it.
problem. I think that's my biggest issue with that is the fact that it's man-made and the people, all the elite, are pushing. They're going to make so much money off the vaccination. The fact that it's man-made just still just bothers me. You know what I mean? And then when I watched the video before we move on, where Bill Gates was like, "Wait till the second wave," and he laughed about it. He's like, "Wait till the second wave," and then you hear all these strands and stuff. The comments about the strands that are hitting the screen. Like it's going to keep evolving and mutating. It's like it's a lot, man. It's a lot. So, and then when you have our theories, you have most of the main people that you talk to don't feel this way. So you look like the crazy person in the family because you're like, I'm not doing it. When most people are like, I had someone tell me, what's his name? A rapper from Texas, Boss Hall. He was like, I don't think Bill Gates is trying to kill me. I want to take the vaccine. Hey, more power to you, brother. But I think you do have to realize that there's always been an agenda about black people. So
Of
to each his
course.
own.
Why you think it's okay for us to keep pushing certain things within our culture? They want to define what our culture is. Our culture is shaking booty, getting drugs, securing a bag, and all this negative stuff, right? But then when we have those artists that is empowering our culture, they don't get pushed out. They don't get the funding. They don't get the backing. They don't get the plays. They don't want that type of music to be on our radios and on our TV. They want us to be ignorant. They want us to be black. They want us to be angry. That's how they want us to be. That's why people look at us a certain way, because that's how they want our culture to look like. We're angry black people. We're ignorant and we this and we that. So of course, if it's for them to say, hey, yeah, let's get rid of this culture altogether. Like if we can, let's wipe them out.
Yeah.
They already tried to wipe out our culture. Period. They took us from our culture, and then they brought us here, and then now we living amongst what they want us to. They want to call us our culture, Christmas and Easter, and that's not our culture. But hey, it's we going way beyond this vaccination right now. We could be talking about this all day, all
Well,
day.
well, for sure. That's the best thing about it is I'm in a place where I have some financial freedom. I know a lot of times people can't speak freely because there's people looking. He said X, Y, Z, and you're losing a sponsor or you're losing your job about your comments, which I hate because I feel like even if I don't agree, I respect everyone's right to opinion. That's how you feel. Cool, brother.
Exactly.
I don't take it no personal way as long as you're not invading my personal space. But Nate, your phone has been ringing. Mine has been ringing. But but you are that baby. Dating in 2020. Christmas
Yeah.
is coming up. Are you making the calls? Or are you receiving the calls? What's dating in 2020 like? Because we about to graduate to 2021.
As far as the holidays,
Wait,
it's a
wait, wait. The date doctor showing up.
no, I'm just saying it's.
The
Oh,
date
What's
doctor.
okay.
happening? What's
We
happening?
got Dale. Hello, hello.
What's going on?
What's
What's
going
happening?
on?
Oh,
Dating in
no, good.
2020, Nate.
Uh, well, I haven't did too much dating in 2020. If people don't know, I ain't gonna say recently, but I got out of a relationship the end of 2019. Like the very first day of 2020, we basically decided to move forward. I dated somebody else during 2020 and the experience wasn't that great. So, I'm still thinking I'm at that healing process where I still need to heal. You know what I'm saying? So, I haven't really been doing too much dating at all. So, I don't know as far as whether 2020 was any different from any other year prior to that or if it's going to change any year behind that. So, if you want to just say dating, maybe as an adult, maybe in my 40s, we could talk about that. But as far as 2020 being that number, yeah, I can't really. I mean, I like the fact that this whole virtual situation is taking place. I think that is dope because a lot of it will eliminate a lot of things going on right now. It's like, all right, we could talk, we could do this virtual, We could ask the proper questions that we need to do, you know, and if for whatever reason I feel like, okay, yeah, I kind of, you know, he kind of got what I guess I'm not going to say looking for, but if he has some quality and it's like, okay, great, maybe at that point we could go out and meet up and maybe go that way. But if the first date over the virtual camera, shoot, I think that's the best thing that could happen. The best thing that could have happened. It saves so much time and headache. I promise you. Because if I don't like you over the phone, I ain't gonna like you in person. And so that's how I look at it. I think that's fine
Well, listen.
to me.
First of all, I want to say only in my messy hometown do people tell you that you're in a relationship. I have not been in a relationship, hadn't even been dating, but let the streets tell it. I'm in a relationship, and I've been in a relationship for quite some time. But I got to introduce my partner that stops in. He fresh out of surgery, and I always say that is your equal. I got to introduce one of the black super friends that is known as the Date Doctor. Welcome to the segment. Welcome to G Series. Seeing Chris.
Hey.
Thank you. I think last segment was epic, so I'm glad to be a part of this. Like I said, I just got out of surgery. I was in a meeting. MEATING.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, hilarious, man. Dating in 2020, Chris, can you agree with what we're saying? I've always said this. Listen, because for a man, it gets costly. So FaceTime, phone call, IG call. Let me see what you look like. Let me see what you're talking like. Let me see if you can read out loud. Let me see you when you just got out of the shower or whatever. If that's on your list, I don't see why people have a problem with that. Chris, you Date Doctor, is that okay? Is that acceptable?
Well, I think it is to each. It's a case-to-case basis. I personally believe that it's best for a man to do it in person, simply because she gets to see everything about you. Because your confidence is one of the number one things that can get you farther along. Your cologne can help you. Your command of the date, where you sit, do you open doors? I tell guys to sit at the bar so you're more sitting upright. So you present yourself in a more masculine way. I think that through the telephone, with even video conference, I think you lose a bit of your advantage. So if that works for you, fine. It's, like I said, it's a case-to-case basis, but I suggest that you meet in person. The best thing you could do as a man is to, especially the first dates, and I think that anything is a first date that you didn't smash. So, or pre-smash is a first date. So I think that you just keep those dates as affordable or economically reasonable as possible. You don't want to. I teach not to treat first dates like girlfriends. So that don't mean you need to sit her down to a steak in the first date. A drink is fine. Go to the bar, get you a drink, and talk to her. Because at the end of the day, even on the phone, I think that in certain situations that you can meet a girl and like her presence and her aura a lot more than her conversation initially. Because a lot of times in the initial stages, people has PTSD about dating and conversation, so they don't want to give you everything. And a lot of things goes on for energy with women. How do you make them feel? The more comfortable you make them feel, the more they will give you in return. So I say the best way to get in that is face to face.
See, when I think about, because I was talking about this on my live on TikTok, and I was saying the problem with people nowadays is the expectations of that first date. Females think that a first date, like you think, have to be sitting down. It has to be at a 5-star restaurant. It has to, people have these expectations. I expect this guy to open up the door. I expect him to do this. I expect him to do that. And let's just say he do everything. And you sit down and you have a conversation when the conversation sucks. So now we sitting at a dinner and it's like, okay, now we got dinner and I really don't like this guy. Like, I really don't even want to finish my dinner. Is it rude if I get up in the middle of this dinner and walk away? Or like, do I torture myself and continue to sit here while I'm with somebody in front of me that I don't even want to be around? And as you getting to know the guys, like, these are some of the questions I would like to ask before we even go on a date. I want to know everything. Like, and I feel like if you're going to be so withdrawn, there's nothing that I wouldn't be attracted to somebody that's withdrawn. Like, I want you to be as transparent as I am. And I feel like if we're going to go on a date and you're not going to talk, or you just want to talk about sports or things that I feel like might not be relevant to me, then I felt like that's a waste of time. So I don't have those expectations. I want to talk to you. I want to see where your head is at. Obviously we seen something that attracted us to each other. So there was some type of attraction that it led us to either phone conversation or FaceTime or whatever. Now at this point, let me vibe you. Let me get to know you a little bit more to see if I even want to have a date with or go in person with you anywhere. You could have just told me you came home from jail for an assault and you've been locked up for 25 years and all you know how to do is be hard and then I'm with you now. Now I'm scared because you just came. I'm just finding out. Now, how I know, I'm just finding out you coming home from jail for 25 years. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm scared the whole date because I'm like, dang, I wish I would have known this before I went out because now how I know if I'm going to even make it back home. Who to say he ain't going to snatch me up? And, so we have these things going through our mind. Now, I can't speak on every woman. I only can speak for myself. So I think the whole virtual thing is dope. And I feel like once you can kind of open up with that, be yourself, then you'll feel more comfortable meeting up in person. Then it's like, yeah, I won't feel too bad meeting up with him because we already passed that ice breaking stage where we kind of know each other. Because I'm that girl, like if you tell me this is where I work, okay, when we get off the phone, I'm like, hello, yes, this is Miss Cruz from Bank of America. I would like to verify dates of employment, please. I want to make sure that you're working there. You're not going to sit here and feed me a whole bunch of lies and telling me things that you think I want to hear and then waste my time as time goes on. I'm going to know from that first initial conversation is even worth us meeting up. So that's just me. I can't speak on everybody else. That's just me.
But goddamn, that's a security system. Hey, that's some
invasion of privacy. That's what that
oh
is.
my God.
It's not invading of privacy because I had situations where I met dudes. They put up the biggest front. They lie so much because they can have other situations, but because they want what they see, they're gonna tell you what you want to hear so that you can continue to fall along with it. Then it probably takes some time before we really start getting to know the person, and then come to find out that everything they told us is a lie. I've been in that situation before, and I was just like, yo, I'm not going to put myself in that situation again.
Why don't you change what you want to hear then?
Listen, I don't tell him nothing.
Okay.
Okay, so say, for instance, if I tell you, hey, we meet each other like, hey, are you in a relationship? No. So who am I to say, stop lying? You know you're in a relationship. Why are you lying to me? Like, how am I supposed to know you're lying? You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to say. From the very door, if we just having a regular conversation, I got to trust what you're telling me in the beginning until I find out otherwise. So if you're sitting here feeding me something, I got to take what you feeding me.
Well, see, that's the thing. Single men moves in certain ways. That's the reason why you would probably be asked on a date pretty early because he has no fear of being seen out in public with you. The single man moves. He would probably being asked to come to his house on the first date. You know why? Because he feels he's super single. There's no reason that there's no woman coming in here. There's no woman living here. So single men move in a certain fashion. What it received as
single men.
Well, I didn't know we was calling the all police today, but men moves in a certain fashion. What is received as he just wants to screw and things like that. But that's just how single men move. If a single man most of the time invite you to his crib is because he's grown tired of the first dates. So that's his screening process. Now I don't know what situation you guys are talking about. I think that all dates come from a formal conversation first. But I don't consider it a date because we had a formal video conference. That's not considered a date. I think that we don't try to let technology change everything. A date is somewhere where we both meet up and physically interact in person.
A date could be on the phone. A date could be at my house. A date could just be a date that's set. It doesn't have to be a location. It's a date. Nobody said a date is a location. A date could be anything. You see what I'm saying? So it's like if a guy asks me to come to his house on the first date, I'm already looking at him like he's nasty. Why would you, and whether you single or not, why would you invite me to your house on the first date? So now my intentions is you just want to smash. I'm not there. I could be single.
If he invites you to
see
the
what I'm
Taj
saying?
Mahal on the first date, He
I
just
wouldn't.
want to smash.
But
If
let
he
me tell
invites you
you.
to Denny's on the first date, he just want to smash. If he
Mm-hmm.
invites you to his mother's family reunion on the first date, he
Mm-hmm.
just want to smash. So that doesn't change. That's across the board. But
Okay,
having
so me getting on a virtual call with somebody, you can't smash me. You see what I'm saying? Did you what you gonna do? Try to stick your penis through the through the lens? Like no. Now you see what I'm saying? So I feel like it kind of opens up. Like okay, let me tell you. Basically, not tell you what I'm looking for, but what my expectations might be and what your expectations might be. Because if we have different expectations, then we don't have to expect anything if we already know that it ain't we can't meet each other. So
Am I,
it just kills that time.
let me ask you something. Should we just be fair with each other and to say that the curve our expectations to know that most people you meet aren't going to be who they are or who they think they are. They are not that person because from this social media era, this generation right now, this 2020, most of the people what you see on IG on social media is not who they are. So why would if I recognize that, do I not just say look at it like I'm expecting a certain percentage of this to be bullshit that they're telling me?
Majority of the time. That's why I do my homework now. Because let me tell you a quick story real quick.
Get a
Because
screen, bro.
I put this up on my TikTok. I did a 4-part little story and I was talking about how I met this guy. This guy came off like, I'm going to try to make a long story short. I met a guy who basically told me that he was single. He told me he had a child. He told me he was a subcontractor. He travels with his company, this, that, and the third. So the only time we seen each other was on the weekends because I was working Monday through Friday and me being a single mom, I'm not going to drop what I'm doing during the week to go hook up with a dude. Like I hook up when I have time, which was the weekends. So that's what we did. So we only saw each other on the weekends. But I always had in back of my mind, like if this guy got all of this going on, like if he seems like he's that stand-up guy, then I always ask him the question, like, why are you single? Because usually, and then he don't never say it's by choice. He just like, oh, well, I haven't met anybody that I really like. And it was like, okay, but females have that intuition. We have that gut instinct. So I'm going to cut out okay, we went out several times, whatever, we hung out, whatever. And I always tell him, I say, you can always keep it 100 with me. You can always tell me the truth. Like, are you with someone? No, I'm not with anybody. Da 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 da. Why don't you relax? I understand, Bob. And he would sit there and tell me all that. I was like, okay. One time he came to my house, we finally hooked up. He came to my house and he left his laptop and he left a few things to my house. He ran to his cousin's house out in Brooklyn. I said, okay, cool. So I was like, he got his laptop here. So I called him up and I said, hey, my computer crashed. Is it okay if I use your laptop? He gave me his password and everything. I went through his whole complete laptop. I came across pictures. I came across videos. I came across a lot of things. And see me, I could sit there and say, yeah, maybe it's because these videos or pictures are old. No, when you start looking at that content of when that video, that picture was downloaded or created, you could tell all of that in the video. So then when I came across a rental application with him and another female on this application, I was like, ooh, where did this female come from? So I took her information down. But then when I approached him with the situation, like, hey, already, I always tell you I don't like liars. He was like, oh, babe, who's lying to you? Oh, my gosh, who's lying to you? And you know what I'm saying? I was like, you. He was like, what are you talking about? So I began to ask him about the girl I found on the application. And he still sat in my face and he lied. So I said, if I was to call this girl up right now, is she going to tell me the same story you told me? You don't have her number. Boop. I picked up my phone and I dialed her. Of course, she didn't answer the phone that day, but she called later on that day and she asked me who was I? And I said, well, we know the same person. As I got to ask her the question, they've been together for 2 years. This dude got 6 kids. He don't even have a job. You know what I'm saying? He ain't have nothing going on with himself. So I wasted like 3 months of me hooking up with him over the weekend just for him to find out that he had all of this going on. So my whole thing is if I was able to knock all of that out in the beginning, I wouldn't have had wasted 3 months of my time trying to figure out what the hell this dude was lying about. You see what I'm saying? So now that's why I feel like this virtual thing is good because I can ask all the questions I ask. And if any of my questions make you feel uncomfortable, then I already know that you somebody I don't even want to move forward with. And that's just me personally. That's just me personally, because nowadays people are crazy. You can't trust everybody you walk out with, because people meet these people on social media, on these damn websites and all of these crazy things. And some people come home, some people don't. Some people go out on these dates and these guys be wanting to smash and the girl say no and the dude start beating them up. I'm not trying to put myself in these situations, you know, and we don't never know what situations we're going to put ourselves in. So if I don't feel comfortable with just having a stand up real conversation with you so I can fact check, I ain't coming out with you.
Well, it's a filter. I will say that before I go to Chris. First of all, he's a New Yorker. Y'all a different breed. Second, I say virtual is a good filter where you can at least have an initial conversation. But going virtual ain't gonna stop you from having the same type of results, Nate. Because virtual, I think
I get it.
Because virtual, I
I
can
can fact check though.
trust me by virtual. Trust me by virtual, I can show you some things. Virtual, boy, the technology, you can put on a whole show.
Yeah, but I can fact check though. That's the thing. I can fact check. If
That's a
I'm
bit
telling
extreme.
you, how is that a bit extreme? How I'm not gonna go out with
I don't even know if that's legal, Nate. Did you
how is
call
that
the job?
illegal?
I don't know if that's legal. Did you
Why is it
call
not
the job?
legal? Why is
I don't
that not
know.
legal?
I don't know if that's legal.
Why is that not legal? I'm trying to listen. At the end of the day, my thing is you never know. Basically, yeah, like you said, you still don't know. But at least I've been able to fact check some of that stuff. Like I want to really know who I'm out in these streets with. Period. I could be out with a certified sex offender. And I'm walking the streets swinging hands. Whoa, look at my boyfriend. And everybody looking like this bitch don't know he's a sex offender. I don't know some of these things. You see what I'm saying? What's your government name? No, what is your birth name? I really want to know these things.
Happens
And
every
at
day.
least
Nate, it's a dude right now holding hands in Lenox Mall, walking around with a chick that he in love with, and the whole squad at the food court laughing because she been bang bang Sally for 5 years. So,
but you know what? I guarantee you that situation ain't never happened to me after that. I guarantee you.
Hey, doctor.
What I'm saying is this: I don't see how this lasted 3 months. If you have to ask the man, is he single more than once? Something in your intuition is in your spider.
I always have spiders with everybody.
Well, Nay, we gave you 2 hours to talk.
Okay, my bad.
Something in your spider sense must have showed up, and it showed you that something doesn't sit right here.
Right.
I don't know what was going on between these weekend bangs. What's going on that you wasn't having conversation with him that would lead to this internal investigation prior. Like, I don't know how did you not know his full name.
Because every time I would speak to him, he would consistently lie. It was the constant lying. Like we can have these conversations and everything that came out of his mouth was a lie. That's what I'm saying. If we only seen each other once a week on the weekend, then my whole thing is like, if you still going to constantly tell me, I done been to his house. And let me tell you the situation. I've been to his house. He hid everything in his house. He hid everything that showed me that a girl was in there. Why? Because he knew that his woman was a nurse. He knew what time she came home. He hid everything in that house. Because when I happened to came to his house after the girlfriend found out who I was, she wanted me to confront him with her. When I came to that house, everything was on the wall. That house didn't look like how it was when I came over there. Like, he spent so much time trying to cover up his shit, and he was good at it. This is what people do. And it's sad to say, I'm not saying every dude, but this is what guys do.
If he was that good at it, because he seemed like he's on a supreme high level to fool an investigator, Detective Nate. Now, if he was at that high of a level, what makes you think a video call conference in the beginning initially would have gave you any clues that 3 months of intel didn't?
Okay, I can answer that. Because back then I was a little younger. So a lot of the things that I've learned was from past experience. You see what I'm saying? And I wasn't so-called saying I was investigated then, but I was always saying like, this guy is so-called great. I would think girls would be just falling in his lap. That's what my intuition was. Like, I know he got girls. I know he got girls. That's what that intuition was. But I promise you after that... Well, I mean, we kind of met in one of those weird situations, but at the same time, I wouldn't say I was drawn to him. It was just happened that he helped me get out of another situation. I was being followed by a dude at a club, and he was happened to be there, and I ran up to him because I seen him by himself, and I was like, "Hey, can you pretend to be my boyfriend? Because this boy's following me around the club." He hurried up and he jumped on it. He was like, "Nah, I got you," and that's how we ended up exchanging numbers.
Oh, so you
Nate.
like
wasn't-
Captain Kirk's?
Huh?
Nothing.
Nate, wait a minute, Chris. How you know that wasn't a play? Because that does happen.
It could have been. It could have been.
Damn, that was a brilliant one too.
It
Hey,
could have
go over
been.
there and act creepy and get her to run over here.
It could have been, but like I said, it was a learning process. But I guarantee you, moving forward, I learned from that situation. Now I'm investigator. So yeah.
Do you think he was a great liar, or you were just so young and naive?
Or
He doesn't
vulnerable.
seem like a great liar.
No, he was a great liar.
That's what
He was a great liar. I can't say I was young. Yeah, I was younger, naive, never naive. He was just a great liar. Because trust me, you know, when a girl comes to a dude's house, we looking for stuff. When he step away, he walk away, we're peeping, we're looking for things. We always gonna do that. Okay. So like I said, he was great.
Tell me the times that you call him, because there's conversation times and there's I'm with my old lady times. Because my old lady
I will call him,
here.
and every time I would call him, I'll call him any time of the day. Like if I'm at work and I happen just to call him, he'll pick up the phone. And then we'll talk for a little while, and then you can hear noise in the background. He said, "Well, listen, I'm at work." Hold on, this is what he'll do. He'll answer the phone. Like I said, there'll be noise in the background and everything. We'll talk for like a good 5, 6, 7 minutes. And he'll be like, "Hey, let me call you back. I'm at work." And I'd be like, "Okay, no problem." Or then he'll call me like, "Hey, how's your day going?" We'll talk for a good 5, 10, 15 minutes. And then maybe like after hours, we would talk. 6, 7 o'clock will come. We'll be on the phone for 2, 3, 4 hours at times. So I never got the image that he had like a girlfriend. I was still ask like, "You sure you ain't dating nobody? You ain't got other girls you seeing on the side?"
What made you do that? What made you do that? What made you ask those questions?
What questions?
That repeatedly asking him, "What? Do you have a girlfriend?"
Because it'd be like the little things he would do. Like he'd just be like, he was just like, I put it like this. At that time, like you don't really come across guys who show too much chivalry. You know what I'm saying? He showed a lot of chivalry. And I was just like wow, he's saying like flowers and like holding open the doors and all that little extra stuff, complimenting all the time. And you'd be like, wow, this guy seems like he's a really good guy. Like he's a good catch. So you'd be like, wow, you trying to tell me you ain't just got girls falling in your lap. Like you ain't got girls lined up. Like, because most dudes that's single, when I was meeting most dudes that was single, they was talking to 5, 6, 7 girls, 3, 4, 5, you know, and it was okay if that's what it was told to me. Yeah, like I'm talking to other females, blah, blah, blah. But this dude wasn't talking to nobody at all. Nah, I don't have time. I don't have time to be talking to other females. You know, I work and then, you know, I take care of my daughter. But then to come to find out, once I found out about the girlfriend, he had 6 kids. And them 6 kids wasn't even with the girlfriend. It was with other girls he had.
So
we got to interview this too, Chris.
I need to find him. Conversations, and not one time in a 3-month span did he say, "Hey, I'm with my daughter this weekend."
Nope. Let me tell you,
I can't see you this weekend.
Hold on.
Or in this conversation in these 3 months, he's never said, "Hey, I'm with my daughter here." Like certain things would.
No, let me tell you. Trust me, I'm a female. I'm a single mom. So if I meet a dude who has kids, I'm always going to ask, when's the last time you saw your kid? When's the last time you spoke to your kid? I'm not one of those girls that's not going to question that. So when I questioned that, he said his daughter lived in Georgia, that he lives in Georgia. His job had him contracted out here in New York. This is what he told me. He's like, I speak to my daughter a lot, and he Skypes his daughter. He said, but he's not going to see her until he basically go back to Georgia. This is what he told me.
No, but he said
that's what he told me. If you telling me something, I just got to believe you until otherwise you show me something else.
Now the same person that's going to call my job is going to give the benefit of the doubt. How is that possible?
So hold on. I said I do that now because of that situation. You see what I'm saying? Now I took that situation as maybe, you know, I need to start fact checking a lot of these things that these dudes been telling me, because I learned from that. I wasn't hurt, because like I said, it was only 3 months. We only seen each other on the weekend. It wasn't nothing serious for me. We went out, we had a good time. He did bring his cousins and stuff around. He used to bring his cousins. I used to bring my friends, and we all used to hang out. That's how it was. Like, he never gave me any sign that he had a girlfriend.
Parent vibes? He never gave you any parent vibes? He never gave
No,
you
he gave me parent vibes. Like, his daughter will call. And he was like, my daughter's on the phone. Like, he'll talk to his daughter. Hey, baby girl, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Send me some pictures. And then he'll show me pictures that his daughter's sending him and everything. Like, I seen those things. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is, even those, he only told me about one kid. One. He had 6.
But see, here's the thing. I don't know you per se, but what I know about, what I've learned about a group of women is they love lie. They love the lie. They embrace the lie. They complain about the lie, post lie. But honestly, they enjoy the lie, because I know black women, and black women are one of the most inquisitive, one of the most detective, the most researching women in the world. I think that they're one of the hardest women in the world to lie to. That's just my opinion. Maybe we're gonna call the all police about that, but that's what I believe about black women. So I think that it's very hard to lie to them. And if you're gonna lie, you have to be at Super Saiyan level of a liar to get it past them. So what I think is I don't know about this particular situation, the way you articulate it, but I think in a lot of situations that women complain about lying men is that they enjoy the lie, because there's certain things that a man should have shown you. Like this, as far as how a kid, you don't have to ask a father when the last time you spoke to his kid. You
I'm
just
going
don't
to
have,
ask that period.
it comes in conversation. Just the
I'm going
conversation
to
that
ask
you had
that period.
it was daddy-daughter weekend, or it was I was on the phone with my daughter. You never have to remind a father.
You don't have to remind them, but you got to ask. Maybe don't come up in every conversation, but you're going to ask, like, hey, when's the last time you seen your kid? Like, because me, I already know, like, as a single mom, I'm going to ask those questions. Like, that's just something I'm going to ask. Some things might not even be brought up in conversation, because maybe you're talking about something totally different. But I ask those questions. And like I said, yes, I was younger, but now I know, I see things. And when I see flags, I nip things in the bud. I'm not for the lies, because once you lie to me, you will always lie to me. So if I catch you in one lie, I don't care how little the lie is. You can tell me you got on blue socks, and I can clearly see your socks is purple, and right there you lied to me, and you looking right at your socks. I'm like, you colorblind? No, I'm not colorblind. So you telling me you got on blue socks, but those socks is purple? Yeah, I'm wearing my purple socks. Okay, dude.
Listen,
that's a problem.
That's going to be another episode, because what we are describing is PTSD, which I have officially trademarked, and I want to post-traumatic serial daters, which is trademarked. But listen, so I got 2 dating experts on the line. I got the date doctor, and I got Thee NaySimone.
I'm not letting you know. I just fail a lot. I just screwed up a whole bunch of relationships, so I learned knowledge from that.
Hence your expertise.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, listen. So I'm gonna ask you something, because we're gonna talk about Kevin R. Samuels, the viral video where he is the dating expert that seems to be not received by all. Does he have some validity in what he says? People say yes. Is the delivery the problem that people are having with people? But let's be fair. He is malicious and savage to both male and females. So let me ask you something, Nay, my friend. Nay, what would you rate yourself?
A 10.
A 10?
Yep.
Is it the Incredible Hulk contact today?
No, I rate myself a 10, because my thing is, I love myself. You ain't got to love me, but I love myself. Okay. Every day I'm a better version of myself every day. I'm always better than I was yesterday. I'm going to always be a better version of myself every day. Nobody's going to tell me what they feel that I am. Okay, you might feel that way, but I'm a 10. I don't care what you think. You don't know me. You haven't been around me for you to even judge me. Don't you ever tell me what you think just by looking at me, that I'm something that you might feel that. I might look at you. You might think yourself is a 10, and I might look at you and be like, says who? You know what I'm saying? Says yourself. You have to put that standard up for yourself. I put that standard up for myself.
So
That's just what it is.
Chris, how would you rank yourself?
I'm gonna go around the above average range. Are we talking about looks, rate? What are we talking
We
about?
talking about the whole package.
The
We
whole
ain't talking
package,
about
man.
just the look wise. I'm talking about the whole package.
Oh well,
How do you rate
I
yourself?
honestly don't rate myself. It doesn't matter
Chris,
because I think that it's
you got to
subjective.
rate yourself.
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Answer the question.
11.
Answer the question.
11.
1 to 10. Come on, Chris. Please participate. I'm going somewhere with it.
Okay. 7.5.
How you go from 11 to 7.5?
I don't want to give a number in the first place. It doesn't
Okay.
matter to me because it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the buyer thinks. But never mind.
That's my point. So with the Kevin Samuels video that got so much outrage, he asked the young lady to rate herself. Do I think that she gave a real depiction of what she rated herself? Because she said a 5 or 6. Before he talked to her, I think she felt like she was maybe a 9 or 10. Which
No. The crazy thing is he asked her to rate yourself and then gonna say, don't say a 7. I'm like, what? And then she's gonna say, oh well, I'm a 5 or 6. What? Man, listen, he couldn't have had that interview with me. I'll tell you that much.
we're gonna set that up for you.
Okay.
We're gonna set that up for you. The
Okay.
video. What was the man? I mean, was it the delivery or
His
was it?
delivery was disgusting.
But did it have validity?
No, because he was talking when he mentioned about himself, talking about he got young when the girl was like, well, you in your 50s. And he was like, oh, all these young girls just be flocking to me and blah. And I was like, dude, okay, maybe I didn't fit that category. I don't know how young he's saying, but if these girls is flocking to him, they only flocking to him for money. They're not flocking to him for anything else. Because personally, if I was to see him and me being a grown woman that I am, and I see him, I'm not going to automatically just think, oh my God, he's attractive. That's not the first thing that's going to come to my mind. You know what I'm saying? So if that's not the first thing that comes to my mind when I see him, it got to be, okay, what else? What is his personality like? And if he opened up his mouth and spoke like he spoke to that female, it wouldn't have been nothing else after that. So when he's sitting up here talking about these girls is flocking to him, what are they flocking to you for? Because it's damn sure it would, to me, it wasn't his looks. That's just my opinion. But that's my opinion.
J. Dot, what was your take on the video?
I thought the video was good. I think that there's a lot of misconceptions in the video. He's not a dating coach. He is an image consultant. So as an image consultant, it is a very vital to his job to know what the aesthetics of things, how things look. That's his job. Also, I think that what we're doing now is trying to make the messenger a monster instead of receiving the message. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just the truth. What I think is it's so hard for people now to hear a black articulate heterosexual man talk. They don't like that. Now this is the same type of vibe and energy. I don't even want to say the same type of vibe or energy, but because it's absolutely not. Simon Cowell made a living doing this. Gordon Ramsay made a living doing this. We are more than welcome to accept when a certain group of people or a certain man speaks in this way. And not even that. I think that the way this man communicated with this woman was calm, cool, and direct. Like the curse word came at the end after being frustrated, but no one says anything about her on her phone, smug, asking laughing, not paying attention. This man is a paid consultant. He's giving out his time, and you don't have enough respect to just receive the message.
Well, I felt like she lost that respect.
Nay,
Sorry, he lost that
when you
respect.
go back and listen to when you go back and watch the whole video, you see that this man was trying to help. She called in on a day that he don't even do this on. So he took out his time, and the whole time I'm hearing a man being calm and direct to this, never cursing at her, never talking disrespectful to her. When she started to get disrespectful by not even paying attention to what the man was saying, looking on her phone, he's trying to tell her something. Then there's but this is normal when it comes to trying to take corrective directive from heterosexual black men. And we see stuff like this all the time. Again, I think we're making a monster out of the messenger and having nothing to say about the message. The message is clear. Women, especially black women, have to understand that we are the buyers. We have a privilege to think whatever we want to. If we're the one gonna get down and ask for these relationships and ask for these marriages, we get to see things the way we want to see things, and we cannot always be wrong. At some point, you have to listen to what we want, not think for us. Let us think for what we want to say, how we feel, and then go from there. That's what I see.
Please pick me.
I got a question for you. Follow up. Go ahead, Dave.
Pick me. Okay. So I didn't watch. I don't think I watched the complete interview. I did. I only watched them, but from what I watched was I would have clocked out of that interview. From what I've seen, I would have clocked out of that interview already. I didn't like this. Hold on. I didn't like the deliverance. First of all, hold on. I didn't like the deliverance. If somebody's speaking to me in a certain type of tone that doesn't fit my spirit, I'm going to end that interview. Okay, thank you for your time. I got to go. Because that's like me speaking to you and saying, be quiet, I'm talking. Don't interrupt me while I'm talking. Just shut up for a second. I'm trying to get my I'm getting my point across. Dell, please. Dell, please. I'm talking. Dell, I'm talking. I'm talking. See, that's a problem. Men don't know how to listen. Be quiet when I'm talking.
No,
you don't like that. I'm giving my opinion. I'm giving my opinion. But you see what I'm saying? If I was to speak to you,
no, I don't.
Let me speak, because what I'm saying is I didn't like his deliverance. That was my thing. You ask a question and then you're going to come back with an answer. Rate yourself. Don't say it's 7. Who are you to tell me you're going to ask me a question and then turn around and tell me what? I'm speaking.
The person you called for advice.
Dell, I'm speaking.
I am that person.
Dell, I'm speaking. Thank you. I'm speaking. Who said that? Kamala Harris, right? I'm speaking. What I'm trying to say is that's where, when it comes to male and females, that's where the issue the issue is communicating. We don't know how to communicate. One feel like one has to be superior than the other. When in all naturality, we are equals. Okay? And that's the problem. And he talked to her as if she was beneath him.
That's absolutely not true.
Yes, from what I've seen,
I know
that's
from
what
that 7-minute clip.
That's what I've got. That's what I took from. That's what I took from it. He spoke like she was beneath him, saying you this and you that and you slim and you not, and you said you like 5 in the face, like you don't know what you're doing to that person. Because if your little own personal opinion, another man might have looked at her and be like, wow, she's beautiful. But then his man's breaking her down because for him, it's not his standards. That's not right.
Women. These are grown women.
Right. That's not right. It doesn't matter if it's a grown
women that we put in charge of businesses. This is grown women that we put in charge of countries. These are grown women that we make vice presidents. These are grown people. These are grown people. We don't have to
respect it.
Coddle them.
Respect it.
This is a woman that called.
But you respect.
Show. This is a woman that called his show. This is a man that never raised his voice the whole entire.
But my whole thing is, if he really didn't want to do it, he shouldn't have done it.
Trying to give you some education that you called for. If you didn't call, if he didn't give you his advice, you called to get his advice.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
You also have to know that his content of his show. That means you did your research. You know how he direct his narrative and his teaching. That means you was fully aware of it. For you to call there and then want to be disrespectful to that man where he's not cursing at you, not raising his voice, constantly referring to you as ma'am, in the coolest, calmest voice. And then we take away from that a situation where he was trying to attack her, he was this, he was cussing, his deliverance. That's
But
ridiculous.
my thing is, if you at that point when you felt like the conversation was, first of all, you just told me that he took his time out to do this. So if he couldn't really get his point across, I would have ended the whole conversation. I was like, okay, thank you for your time. I'm
Which
gone.
he did.
Okay. But
That's what
after
he
the
did.
fact, after he put it down,
He
after
didn't.
he
He
sat there,
asked
asked
her.
her questions,
He
and then
asked her.
answered it for her. You know what I'm saying? It was just a level of respect. Like if you come to me and you keep asking me, hey, I need you to do this, I need you to do this, I need you to do this. Boom, now you got my attention. And I come to your show, whether you call me or not. But you taking my time. So I feel like if my time is not being valuable if it's not being valued at that time, it's time for me to get up and go. I'm not going to sit there and then play you or disrespect you or make you feel a way during this time of prayer. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to even go there. Thank you for your time. And I'll get up and move. Because now he's putting that whole stigma of it's okay to speak to a woman like that. This woman is not considered a 10. It's not even considered a 7. Now, everybody that's going to look at her, or maybe everybody's going to view her, is going to say, well, this guy didn't even say she was a 7. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe
because
that's what
now
men think about her. Maybe that's what
he thought about her.
Maybe that's what
that's
men
what
think.
he thought
maybe
about
that's
her.
what men would say.
That's what he thought about her.
Maybe that's what a
that's
group of
what
men
he
would say.
thought about
maybe
her.
that's what a man that he because
that's what he thought about her.
She described. She didn't give a lot of interest. My bad, I'm saying the wrong thing. She didn't give a lot of information on what man she wanted. She gave her information of the amount of money that a man make. He is also one of those men that fit in that category. So I think that he's good enough to speak for 6-figure men, being that he is one. He's going to say to himself, this is what a 6-figure man would talk about. You didn't give specifics on what type of 6-figure man, where, whatever, what job, what anything. You didn't give parenting, nothing. You just said you wanted a 6-figure man. He is a 6-figure man. He speaks 9 times out of 10. He's around other 6-figure men where he speaks to. Maybe that this is what a 6-figure man would look at when he reflected to her. I know women love to say every woman is beautiful. But you guys are not the buyers.
Everybody is beautiful.
So we may say this is a 6. Not to say that a 6 is bad, but we're just saying that this may be a 6. These situations and categories that you have in your life may hinder you from getting a man like myself, which would be a 6-figure man. Now, I'm not saying me.
A Christian 6-figure man, right?
That's
it's
not
funny
what she
how.
asked for. She didn't get
hold on.
specific.
I'm just
she
saying.
Said,
I'm just saying. I guarantee you that's what he is. But what makes it bad is that to even have a conversation about and this is what disgusts me about just people in general. If I got to say black people, I'm gonna put it out there because everybody is so worried about chasing material things. Everybody want to be with somebody, but yet still the only thing we're worrying about is money. So for that whole conversation to even happen, both of them should be ashamed of themselves because as black folks, that's the image that we already put out there for ourselves is that's the only thing that we are looking to chase is a bag.
Yes,
it's sad.
But he's answering to that. He didn't bring that up. He didn't say he wanted a 6-figure woman. He's saying that she said that she wants a 6-figure man. He is only specifically talking about your request. He gets the right to critique your request. You said that you wanted a 6-figure man. You didn't say Christian. You didn't say anything else. You said 6 figures. So, and you said that that's the only way possible you think that you can submit to a man. But
the crazy thing is, no, I understand, but what makes me mad is what he was saying. I was like, okay, go ahead.
This is my question. So I had asked a question last week, Nate, and I said, why do women have a problem taking advice from men about men despite being a woman? Is this one of those situations, or you're saying it's something different?
I'm saying it's something different. I don't have a problem with taking advice from a man because that's where I learn from. I learn from 2 sides of the spectrum. I hear from men's side of point of views and I hear from women's point of views. And then I just come up with a conclusion. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't have problems taking advice because I could ask one guy the same question and every guy will have a different answer. So it all depends on a person's perspective. And you know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. So everybody might have a different answer. If I'm trying to if I want to know something from a particular person, I'm not going to go and ask about something else. I'm going to go right to the source. Okay. And that's just what it is. That's just me. But personally, I feel that most women don't listen to most men is because, they don't feel that that man is going to be truthful to their answer. And that's why they don't listen. I don't think that they don't want to, but it just that is just that whole stereotype about men, and that's the problem. We got to break that stereotype. But as long as we sitting here worrying about chasing material things and not talk about the real problems that we have in our community, then we would never fix the problem, because everybody is chasing material things, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the hell with both of that, the whole conversation. I feel like, from what I see, he spoke to her in a disrespectful tone. Yeah, she wasn't paying attention, being disrespectful. If y'all wasn't gonna give each other that respect, then y'all should have just ended y'all should have just ended that whole interview. You know what I'm saying? Because now that interview is out there, and that, like we're doing, we're going back and forth. Me and Dell going back and forth, trying to see who was right and who was wrong. At the end of the day, I felt like they both was wrong, even to have that conversation. The real source of that conversation is how we as a community can grow and uplift each other, so we can have healthy relationships and find the people that we need to find. But nobody want to talk about that. Everybody want to talk about how they can live comfortably with all of this money and chasing Birkin bags and wearing Louis Vuitton shoes and living in fancy ass houses. That's what everybody is chasing right now. If we can stop, because everybody don't have that. So everybody's trying to chase this six-figure man or six-figure woman. Just think about this is a six-figure man, six-figure woman. Everybody's trying to go for that same person.
Well, I think we got to lay blame where blame lies. I mean, like, most men are not chasing six-figure women. Most
No,
men
y'all
does not
chasing
even
booty.
ask for six-figure men, especially the men that can take care of themselves. They're not even asking for that. They're asking for respect and cooperation. What we're seeing here is a situation where, when did black women ever have to listen to a black man? If you're not
We
raised
did.
with if you're not raised with one, then you don't get it. You didn't get it as a teacher because chances are great you didn't have a male black teacher. Chances are great you was never hired by a male black a man. Chances are great he was never your supervisor or anything like that. You never we On the other hand, we as men, we constantly have to under female rule. We under our mother rule. Then we go to school, and most of the women, that's the people that teaches us, is white middle-aged women. So we get that all the way up to all out to school. So we get the practice of listening to women. But I think that what black women don't get is the practice of listening to authoritative black men, because they're primarily never in those situations for the most part. So I think that's what's going on. That's the reason why when you call a person, you don't have a level of respect to say, "Hey, I called you, and you're going to give me this information, even though I know how you conduct yourself. I'm going to still not receive it, and I'm going to ignore you while you're doing it." So that's just disrespectful of another person's time. Second of all,
Which
I
I
think
said.
that was that.
That's what I said.
Yeah, so I think that at the same time we have to understand, because it's on us too. Men have to put themselves in more of an authoritative position in life. Period. That starts from probably home, and then that starts from
Now, when you
being the
said
business
authoritative
owners.
position, like, what do you mean by
See,
authoritative position?
what I think is what you're running away from is the authoritative word. You're
No,
taking
no,
negative
no. You
to
put it
that.
there. No, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to understand when you mean authoritative. Like
In
you're.
any
Or
other
I just,
situation, though,
I just
in
want to
any other
understand what you
situation
mean
where
by that. I just
authoritative
need some
is used,
clarification. Huh?
in any other situation that authoritative is used, that's the way I think of. That's the way I'm talking about it. So in any other situation where authoritative is used, that's the way I'm thinking of it. Okay, I'm not. So if you think that a police officer is a authoritative position, if you think that a principal is an authoritative position, then that's the method in which I'm talking about. For men, we need to be in more authoritative positions. Being authoritative doesn't mean you have to be it doesn't mean you have to be a dictator, but that means you have to make clean, clear, precise decisions and stand by your decisions and be willing to deal with whatever consequence that comes from your decisions. I think that men need to put themselves in more positions like that. as far as in the home, as far as in business, as far as in just creating anything that the bulk of the responsibility lies on you. I think that we have a saying on the Black Super Friends podcast: women struggle with accountability and men struggle with responsibility. I know men grow up wanting to put everything in their baby mama's name. Putting something in your name is a level of responsibility that men seem to shy away from. The more we put ourselves in those positions of authority, the more we become good in those positions. We make better decisions. We can't let but when we are in those positions, we can't let the word authority shun us then, because we don't let it shun us with the principal at your high school, with your manager at your job. This man can be. I've worked in situations where managers are younger than me, and then they still have an authoritative position, but we don't look at that as bad. In the household, when I say black man is authoritative, you say, well, what do you mean? Define that. Well, just in any other situation that you see authoritative, I think that we need to take more positions like that, and then maybe when our message come across, it'll be received better. Because what we have seen is when we let black men lead, it has led to the great better civilizations, the creation of pyramids, the right to vote, the emancipation of slavery. Whenever we put black men in charge of things, it has led to great things. So we have to allow black men to be in charge of things.
So basically what you're trying to say is that a woman shouldn't be in charge of anything.
See, that's what I'm trying to say. See, that's what I'm saying. That is the problem.
No, hold on. I'm asking a question. Okay. I'm just asking a question. I just need for you to clarify when you say men need to take more authority into the household or whatever the situation may be. Now let's just take it back. Long time ago, many decades and centuries ago, women, our rights wasn't never really meant for a woman. A woman to society was to stay home, be the mom, wash, clean, and cook, and do that while the men go out there and be the breadwinner, right? Correct?
Yeah. Okay. Is that not so the now time as we hold on,
but now the time has evolved. We see that women are basically doing that on their own. Mm-hmm. Because why? Because men didn't want to take care of their responsibilities. They feel like
we taught you how to do that.
Most men didn't want to take care of their responsibilities.
That's not true.
Let's just put it out there. Men have babies and they dip and they leave. We didn't kick y'all out. We didn't say get the hell out of my house. You wanted to go. Most men they couldn't fight temptation. So what happened? They kept spreading their seeds everywhere. Mm-hmm. Disrespecting the household, doing it. And I'm not saying everybody, but it was one point in time women could not work. Women could not do that. But now that time has evolved, women are basically doing a lot of things that the men are doing. So if we're talking about today's time, if the women can do the same thing that a man can do, right? Then now we are equals. We are equals. I feel like we are equals to a certain extent. I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm going to go out there and be, I'm stronger than you. I'm never saying that I'm stronger than you. But there are certain things that women are better at doing. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be in that household and be like, you're going to listen to me and this is what you're going to do. I'm not going to say that. But that's why I said communication is key. You got to be with somebody that you can be able to communicate with. Y'all coming together and you say, listen, us as this couple, this is the expectations. You know what I'm saying? And because that's never talked about, that's never spoken about, those expectations is never met. And then what happens is when things start to come about, we grow apart because now my expectation is like, well, wait a minute. This is not what I expected. So it's just that line of communication. Some men are not good at certain things. Some women are not good at certain things. That's why we come together as partners to become partners. It's not like I brought you in here for you to be my daddy, for you to tell me what I'm supposed to do. I brought you in here so we could be partners, we could be equal, and we can rise above this and we can do this together. It's not about who's in charge and who's this. It's that how can we make this work? If you're good at this and I'm good at this, then this is what we need to do. Now I'm gonna come in here and this is my household and I'm gonna tell okay, this is how it's going to be. That's not how it's supposed to be. We're partners. We're equals. Let's do this shit together. Let's move together. Everything we do should be together. But that's not what it is. Men come into certain situations and feel, I'm a man. You listen to me, and that's what it is. If I tell you to do this, this is what you're supposed to do. As a man, I take care of my family. But then it could be the girl in her intuition saying, well, babe, I don't think that's the right thing to do. So who's wrong in that situation? You have to be equals. This is something that needs to be communicated. Period. You with this person for what reason? Was you there because she looked good? Was it there because the sex was great? Or are you there because you're really trying to build? I'm just trying to get some clarification.
Let me say this.
What situation in the whole entire world that works? Like
well, Chris,
what corporation? Okay, go
Some
on.
people that have those long-lasting relationships that still lasting to this day.
You don't know.
And you talk to those.
You have no idea of those people.
Wait,
no ideas, those people.
What Chris is trying to say, and what I think the synopsis of what he said is, the man is the head, not the tail. That's what I took.
But why
that's what he wants.
But why can't both of them be the head though?
Because when you're not home, what every good leader does.
That's not God's design.
He has a counsel that he trusts in his decision making.
But if you trust your girl, you're going to lead too. Why a girl can't lead?
But as a man,
why a female can't lead?
As a man, I want to be responsible for this decision because I'm willing to die. I'm willing to put everything to make it. If it messes up, I'm willing to get us out of this shit. Whatever I put us in, I go through hell and high waters to put us out. All I need for you is to believe in my decision making. That's the reason why I think that we got to this level of marriage, of relationship, because I have displayed a high level of decision making. What I need now from you is to simply believe in me. When I make tough decisions, I'm not saying I'm not going to consult you because that's what you're here for. You're here because I believe that your mind was enough to consult in every good situation of mine. I'm not here because you got good box. I'm talking about marriage or relationships. I'm married you or be in this relationship with you because I believe in the way that you think. I believe in your mindset. But as a man, I have to make the final decision in this situation, in any situation that I'm in, because I want to carry the weight. I want to carry the responsibility. If this blows up, I'm not going to tell you to go work extra hours. I'm the one that's going to do it. If this blows up, I'm not going to tell you to stress yourself. I put us in here. I'm going to get us out of here. What I need you to do is keep me calm, keep me peaceful, and keep me encouraged. But I have to, as a man, as a leader,
we can, and that can happen. That's where the communication. That's where the problem lies. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, some men are great at certain things and some women are great at certain things. That's why y'all came together to be great together. Yes. You know what I'm saying? To be great together, to encourage each other. If you fall on hard times, I'm going to encourage you. Like, okay, listen, let's figure out how we're going to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? You might say, okay, well, I'm gonna do this. I might have that creative mind to be like, boom, here, this is what it is. I got a great plan. Or you not gonna say, yes, let's take this great plan because I'm the leader and I feel like I should try to do something else. When I gave you a master plan that could possibly work. This is what I'm trying to say. That's what the problem is. It feels like one person have to be on a higher level than the other person when y'all could just be equally together. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the problem. I said, because we want you to be the man. We want you to be a great man. We want to be by your side. We want to be that rib.
I have to define that.
But why has to be I? It's never an I. But it's never an I in a relationship. It's always a we. It's always a we.
But I didn't.
Okay, you come up with this. You come up with this. Can we agree?
We didn't get on.
Can we agree to it?
We didn't ask for
wait, both of y'all have comments, right?
We didn't.
Make sure y'all don't cut each other off.
Okay, my bad.
Make sure y'all at least can communicate.
Well, you gotta give Nay time. But I asked for this. This is what I asked for. I got on my one knee and asked you to be my wife. Not the other way around. So,
but you asked what I said. But then what would I say? I said you asked.
I don't know.
And the only reason why
you haven't answered the question yet.
No, but I'm saying though, you asked the question. You got on your knee and asked that question. Nothing had went forward unless we said yes. Correct?
Yes, you're right. But
Okay,
I'm guessing that you
exactly.
said
It
yes
takes two.
because in the
It
period
takes
of
two.
time, exactly.
It takes two. The
I'm
time
guessing that you
evolved.
said yes
Times are
because in
different
that
now.
period of time, I have shown you that not only do I have great leadership skills, but I also listen to you when you have suggestions and when you have things that you want to do. I've shown you throughout this whole time that that's the type of person and that's the type of leader that I am. I'm not a dictator. I have shown that. I think that's why you wanted to get. That's why you wanted to get married. That's what I think. That's the reason why you would say yes to the relationship. That's why you would say yes to the marriage. Is because throughout this whole courting phase, I've shown you that not only do I make I make the best decisions I possibly can with the knowledge that I have. I also do a great job of consulting with you before said decision. I think that's why you said yes.
Consulting
I
with
hope
me
that's why you said
before you
yes.
make said decision. You see that? Consulting with you before making a decision, meaning that we came to this together and you just said, okay, like this is what we're going to do. It's not
Well,
like
that's
you
how.
made that. It's
Well,
not
that's how
like
the
you made that
government works. That's how
decision by
all
yourself.
parties work.
We're
That's
not
how
talking
business
about the
works.
government because that's the problem. The government get too involved in certain things. The government want to be involved in your whole relationship. That's why the communities are the way it is. You know, the communities like, let me get involved. Let me be the one. Let me substitute your husband. Let me substitute your man to be in your household so that your man won't be there. That's where some of that. So you see what I'm saying? We have to be in this together. I feel like it shouldn't be one higher than the other. Okay, let's come to agreement. This is what we agree on. Great. You go ahead and lead it, and I'm going to follow you. But it's never nothing to the point where you just make that decision by yourself and think it's okay. Because what relationship you've been in that you made a decision that your girl didn't come and say, well, when you was going to tell me this? How come you never spoke to this to me? Why you never communicated this to me? And that's the problem. The communication is always lost. So if you can come together with your partner, because like I said, if you got on your knee and say, well, you marry me, it's the same way you will come to me and say, well, listen, we have this, and y'all come up with that, yes, no, yeah, boom, it happens, you lead and I follow.
Ding, 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 nay. I understand what you're saying, but as a man, I think that you should. I think that you should want a man that's willing to make precise decisions. He has to be a decision maker. He has to be. I think that as a man, we need to be decision makers, not just ask. I think you have to trust the fact that whoever you said yes to has your best interest in mind. I think that you should trust that. I think that you should give belief to him, give support to him, so that when he does make these critical decisions, he make it in the faith that he knows that his woman believes in him. But he has to make these decisions. He has to be a leader. He has to.
And
be.
I kind of agree with you.
Any nation,
I agree with
any
you.
nation that we admire,
To a certain
any
extent.
culture that we admire, is built this way. Any corporation that we admire, it built this way.
Why? But why is it built that way?
It's built with a board of people that make that counsel in the decision making, but one person makes the decision. Any successful business, any successful everything works in this dynamic. I don't understand why this cannot work in the black male, black female dynamic. What have we done so wrong that we can't be treated with the same belief and respect as any other nation, any other corporation, any other church? Everything's ran like this. Why is it possible? Why is it
because everybody looks for the signs of the government. You know, that's the problem. My thing is, if you with somebody, it's supposed to be a spiritual, emotional, physical, financial situation, not the government. The government shouldn't have nothing to do with your relationship, right?
You need to talk to your woman folk about that.
Listen, I speak about it all the time. Trust me. I always root for my men. I root for my men. I don't doubt you because I know there's a lot of great men out there. I feel like the problem is the communication that we lack. It's the communication that we lack. Like my whole thing is like, if guys want to be superior, if guys want to be that authority, is it okay for your woman to just be that homemaker? Is it okay for the woman to not have to go out there and work and bust her ass and still and just be in the house and make sure the house is clean, the dishes are washed, clothes are done? Can we go back into that? Because if that can never change and go back to that, then at the same time we are doing the same exact thing that you're doing. We're going out into the real world, busting our ass, doing the same thing that you're doing. You know, we also have a path as individuals. You know what I'm saying? So my path might lead me, my journey might lead me to a different direction where you want me to listen to what your decision is. It's like, listen, you got to make sure you're on the same path as that person. And I think that's why most relationships end up go in different directions, because of the simple fact that, you know, you also got to remember that everybody are still individuals. If we was to break up, or if anybody was to get a divorce, what happened? You still become that individual, and you still going to continue on your journey just like that person. And that's what people fail to believe, that you are two individuals coming together. You have to stay on that same path. You have to stay on that same journey for you to make it work. And if the communication is not there, it's always going to fall off. I don't think one person should be of a higher authority. Just think about it. Yes, the man might be the one that started off, but guess what? The woman is the one that created. If it wasn't for a man's sperm and a woman to carry it and give it life, it would never be life. You see what I'm saying? So everybody want to make it. It's all about.
That's the chicken and the egg.
No, I'm just saying,
right.
like, but if we think about it scientifically, if you think about it, yes, it takes a man to start the process, but it takes a woman to finish it. Let's just be honest. Yeah, it takes a woman to finish it. But what I'm trying to say,
that's why.
I want to change it, Nate. Wait a minute. I want to stop both of y'all, Nate, because y'all guys, ping, ping, ping. I want to say
no,
this.
but I get him. But I just, like I said, it's just that communication. It's like, I understand I want a man to be a man. Like I would love to fall back and not have to worry about. No, I would love to fall back and let a man just do whatever it is that he needs to do as a man. Take care of his household, take care of that. I give him that. I want you to do that. I don't want to go out there and be a strong woman all the fucking time. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I really just want to give somebody like, here, boom, I'm putting that on you. But sometimes, just sometimes, we still got to be there to be like, okay, wait, hold up, pump the brakes. That's all I'm saying.
You about to give me a point, though. This is what I'm headed at with that, right? So right now, I know a lot of beautiful, gorgeous, allegedly successful women, and they all single. It's 4/4. Some in the 40s, some in their late 30s. It's 4/4. And the odds are some of them would not be married, right? But Chris is talking about, and all of that, Chris said, the man is the head, not the tail. Then you're saying that women are equal and women should be right there. Why can't you be two heads? And I'm like, well, if you were raised, nothing works with two heads. It just doesn't work by design. So I'm asking you, is that part of the problem why so many women and men are single?
Because women, because you just said it, designed.
They don't want to be number two. They want to be the head.
No, you just said it is designed. Who designed that picture?
But
no, I'm saying no. But who designed that picture? Who designed that picture? That's all I'm saying. Who designed that picture to say this is how it's supposed to be?
Well, y'all can I just say that I see where, when the grand scheme, we have allowed supremacy to trick us out of a lot of stuff. The black family is always under attack. So when y'all had the feminist movement and black women ran from out of their homes and families and ran out there with the other sisters talking about women's right and blah, 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 there were no problems in the black home, right? And I always say that then we put this, somehow it got into the mainstream by independent, strong, single woman, strong woman, independent. I don't need no man. Okay, there's another brick that's between us.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to the point where you get the women that is educated, making the money. Oh, I need an equal. I need a man that's making the same thing I'm making, da 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 da. So then you keep putting these bricks.
Yeah, because you know why? Because things evolves. You know what I'm saying? Things is not how it was centuries ago. You know what I'm saying? So now that things are changing, it's like, okay, if things is not, if you want to go back to how things was centuries ago when women was just in the house, then you say, listen, I'm going to do everything. I don't want you to work. I don't want you to do nothing. I just want you to stay home and be that mama and take care of the household. I'm going to do everything. But now that that's not the case, because you got women out here working, we are doing the same thing like you guys. This is what I'm trying to say. Now, I don't have a man in my household. You see what I'm saying? So now basically I'm doing everything on my own. So when we say we don't need a man, we're always going to need a man. Who to say that we don't need a man? Shit, we need a man, because one thing that we want that love, we want that affection. That's what we're missing. We could love ourselves, but we can give that affection. But the same time, we can do the same exact thing that you guys do. The only thing that y'all bring into the table that we don't have is dick. Let's just be honest.
There you go.
That's just what it is. If I'm a single woman doing everything, taking care of my household, paying my bills, taking out the trash, if I'm doing everything in the household on my own, and yes, if you want to say I'm independent. Unfortunately, I had an asshole-ass baby daddy who decided he didn't want to have a part of his daughter's life. So I did everything. I took care of everything. Yes, I was the one that did everything. Right. So when a relationship happens, I'm still have my house. I still have my household. Yeah. You provided the help for me when I needed the help. But then what happens when we break up? I'm still doing the same exact thing. The only difference that you bring into me is memories and dick. And maybe some, and I have friends who encourage me. I have motivation around my life. I have family who loves me. I have people on the sideline rooting for me. Like, Nay, yeah, you're this and you that. I have that motivation. The only thing that I don't have is dick. That's why women is saying that we don't need a man. We do if we want the dick. Like, let's just be honest. But at the end of the day, if women are doing exactly the same thing that men are doing, let's be honest. That's why we say that. I've had enough
of Bash Men Palooza 2020. I've had enough of that. At the end of the day, if that's how you feel, I believe this has been my saying forever. If you don't need a man, I hope that God bless you that you don't never ever have one. And I hope.
But I never said that though.
That's what I never feels that way. Whatever woman feels that way, that she don't ever, if she ever utters the word, I don't need a man. I hope that God makes it so you don't never have one. Mm-hmm. That's how I've always felt. And again, if you feel as though doing personal, adult, responsible things in your own life makes you a man, then and you to make you break men down to just dick, then hey, that's
no.
Totally
what I'm trying to, I'm just answering the question.
I let you go on your 500-minute rant.
No,
over and over again.
Because I just don't want you to misconstrue what I'm trying to say. I'm answering the question of independent women.
Our leadership, our just the way we think, our parenting, our controlled emotionalist. Less emotion decision making is very, very valuable. It's sad that you can minimize me into dick.
Don't say me. What I'm trying to say, he asked a question about when women say why they don't need a man. I'm just answering. No, he said women said that guys, they independent, they don't need a man. Horace said that. And I said the reason why women say that is because if they are doing everything that a man is doing, then what is the sense of having a man? I'm just answering that aspect of it. I never said that I didn't want a man because like I said, I would love to put all that responsibility on a man. I don't want to be strong. I said that about me. I don't want to be strong all the goddamn time. I would love for a man to come in and swoop me up and take care of me. I would love that. I never said I wouldn't, but I'm speaking on a woman who claims that they don't need a man because they're already independent. I'm speaking on why women think they're independent, because of the simple fact they feel like they can do everything a man can do, and the only thing that a man can bring to them that they can't have is dick. I'm saying that in regards to that. me. What if I can get a man that want to do all that? Hell, man, listen. Bye. You can
But that
take all
doesn't-
that.
Will you let him
You
lead?
can take all that.
Will you let him lead, Nay? Will you let
Yeah,
that guy
let him,
get
listen.
lead?
If he's doing everything else, yes, you absolutely right. He can
But
have
he
that.
still
He
got to
can
consult
lead.
with her.
He can do everything. You still could talk about it. Yes, let's come with let's talk. Let's communicate about it, and let's just be logical of the decisions that we're about to make. Yes, I would love that to happen. Yes, I would let a man lead. I don't want to be strong by myself.
You
Shit, being
let a
strong,
man lead.
I would let him do what
Everything
he
you
needs to
allow to do.
do.
Everything you get to define what a man, you get to allow him to lead.
Listen.
Thank you for your charity.
Listen, because you got to understand, like I said, me personally, I'm a single woman. If a man want to come in and step in and take care of all of that, I give that to him. Here, you can have that.
No,
That's me.
Taking care of your adult responsibilities.
You can take care of your
things
adult
that you created
responsibility.
in your life. That's just being an adult. That has nothing to do with man,
Exactly.
woman. That is, you created these bills. You made
Okay.
this happen.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to for a lot of these women that say, a lot of women that says that they'll get their own child support and that child sees their father. So it ain't, you're not doing that alone. So you can't get we can't get this whole thought of, since you have to take care of the responsibilities that you made, the debt that you created, all of a sudden that minimalizes a man. Absolutely not.
Oh,
You
no,
created
but
this
what about
debt.
if you get into a relationship and you creating all of that, but I'm your wife. Now you sitting out here making retarded moves because you feel like you wanted to do this. You the man, you led. I'm going to go out here and spend this. I'm going to go out here and buy $100,000 car. I'm going to go out here and remodel the house knowing that we ain't even got the funds for it. But we allowed you to lead and this is what you do. Now we in debt. Who take care of that debt? If I didn't agree to none of that, but I said, okay, you the man, you're leading. Who's responsible for that?
You shouldn't have married that man.
I'm just saying, who's responsible for that?
You shouldn't have married a man like
That's
that.
not what I'm asking you. If you didn't put, if you just like you get with a girl, a woman, you everything is good in the beginning. Everything is great in the beginning. You having everything is perfect. You having bomb sex and everything. Boom, you get married. You ain't getting the pussy no more. You ain't getting nothing that you used to get in the beginning. Who's at fault?
Nay, I got a question. Comment.
I'm just saying because
Comment, Nay.
Okay,
Wait
go
a
ahead.
minute. Think about it. A comment from the audience says, think about it. Black women make less money than Asian women and white women, but yet Asian women and white women are not saying they won't submit to their man because they have to work.
This brother been on it all night. Oh, the whole interview. This brother been
so
on
it's like it don't matter the intricate parts of the dynamic. I'm still a man. I'm still leading. If I'm not, then you shouldn't be with me. I'm the head, not the tail.
Yeah, I don't have
so
to.
we the tail. So basically,
authority.
we the tail. Nobody's trying to tell anybody to buy authority. All we trying to do is saying, listen, we here too. Just because you the man, I get it. But I feel like that line of communication is lost. You know what I'm saying? You could be a perfect person when we met each other. And then we might fall on some hard times or something tragic or something dramatic might have happened in the relationship. And now you starting to move differently. Your mental is not there. Your mental is not the same. You figure how you was in your 30s. You no longer the same person when you in your 30s and now you in your 40s. Now you're in your 40s and now you're doing different things. But I fell in love with you and what you was doing in your 30s. But now you're in your 40s and everything is starting to change now you becoming somebody different, and I don't feel like you leading right now is in your best, if in our best interest. Am I wrong for feeling that way? If I feel like you're going to take the relationship to the left, if I still allow you to go ahead and lead, then what happens? Some people will lead you right into the hole. I'm not saying that everybody. You can't say you don't allow.
You don't allow me to do anything. You don't let me do anything. You don't.
Nobody
you don't
said
allow
that.
Me or let me.
Nobody said that.
I make decisions in my life. I'm a man. I make decisions in my life. I'm not allowed or let to do anything.
You said allow.
That's how I feel. Again, like I
said
said
allow.
the whole time. I said the whole time. I think that as a man, when he pick his woman, he should pick the woman that's the best in easing in educating him on making the best decision. That should be his supreme counsel.
And
but
I
as
get
a
that.
man, I think that everything falls on you. You take the brunt of all the responsibility. You take it. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to now. You don't have to have a woman that stay home at home as a wife to get that. I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
whatever situation happens in that house, you take the bulk of the responsibility for it.
Okay.
That way, you the one you let the decisions rely on you.
Okay.
You
So
the
what I'm trying
last
to
one. You
say is,
have
I
veto
get
power.
it. But so
Mhm.
like I said, if I met you, we got married in our 30s, right? Everything
Yeah,
is peachy creamy. Now you
yeah.
growing up and you maturing. Now your whole perspective is starting to change. You starting to see and you starting to view things a little differently. Now you starting to become somebody that I didn't fall in love with. I fell in love with you 10 years ago and you was doing this 10 years ago. Now you getting a little older. Now you perceiving things a little differently, right? So now we're not connecting anymore, but I allowed you, like not allow you, but you was the head of the household now. When can a woman step in and say, babe, listen, I see that you're leading us into the wrong direction. Let me step in and let me lead for a little while. As a man, would you let, or would it be okay for your wife to come in and lead that household? Because now she feels that you just going to lead them into a hole. Because if you're going to say no, then you got to think about all the people that got married that are now divorced. If you go and speak to those people that fell in love, that was married at one point in time, and then what happened? Well, we kind of grew apart. Why did you grow apart? I thought you married because we stood by your side. Everything that you wanted, I gave you. Yeah, but now that we got a little older and we starting to see things a little, okay, who leads now? Who the one
Well,
that's gonna come in here and lead now? That's what I'm saying. I
well.
think
Here's
that's
the
the
thing.
fit.
Here's the thing. I believe that in leadership, in leadership, if you take any management course, anytime you let people that do what they're best at. If she's best at something, you delegate power to whatever situation that she's best at. If she's not best at final decision making, then you take on that responsibility. If this is a project of, I don't know what the situation that you're talking about specifically, but let's just say it's a economic hardship situation. If she's best at finances, then absolutely, that's a part of being a leader, is to delegate power to the best person. That's what you're supposed to
To
do. That doesn't change
delegate
the fact
power.
that doesn't change the
That
fact
sound like
Hey,
that you
that sound like
you that doesn't change
control.
that doesn't
listen,
make you less of a leader. That doesn't make you
No,
less
I'm
of a
not
leader.
saying, but that's
Control is
basically what I
control.
said. But
my
that's what I
people.
said.
Yeah,
I said
this
you
is
have to be
I'm
equal.
gonna
You want to
give. I'm
find
gonna say,
somebody.
hey, we're gonna decide that as far as when it comes to the economics of this house, since you are better at that, you're gonna have power over all of that. Now, once I transfer the power, it doesn't make it bad now that you got the power. The word power isn't bad now, is it? Because you have it now. We can't let semantics get involved with this. If I say, okay, well, let's delegate the power of the economics of this household to you. Now you have the power. That doesn't make the word power wrong. That doesn't make me less of a leader. You just said, hey, look, Nay is much better at this. Let her take care of this. And no,
But that's
now
basically what I
now
said.
that's what
It's
I'm
Listen,
not
saying. That
about
doesn't
giving
make you
one
less of a
power,
leader. That doesn't
but
make
it's
you
not
less of
giving
a
one
leader.
power though. That's what I'm saying. It's like if you coming in
Okay.
together as equals, then that should never be a situation. I think when people start saying, "Well, let me do this, and I'm going to be the one that do that," it's like you still got to come and you still got to speak to everybody else, just like the freaking president.
But
The president don't
equal
make the
isn't
decisions,
identical though.
but
Equal isn't identical.
the president don't
hey,
make the decisions though. You
He
Nay.
has
have
veto
people who
power.
delegate all of that though.
Well, listen,
Yes.
Nay and the date doctor, y'all need to get
Mm-hmm.
your own show. 'Cause, listen, I'm looking at the comments. Y'all got somebody, Archer. Archer say
Oh,
he would destroy your argument in minutes, NaySimone, but I told him that our
minutes.
link is locked.
Of course, because that's the problem. Men just feel the need. To me, this is my own personal thing. When you dealing with people, individuals, doesn't matter because now you got women who's marrying women, you got men who marry men. It's just what it is. This is how the world is evolving, right? So my whole thing is what I'm trying to say is you coming in, you already meeting somebody who's already on their own path, their own journey. Then you come along and they say, hey, listen, we're on the same path, we're on the same journey, we're going to come together. So why can't we move together? Why can't we make decisions together? Why can't we be in this relationship together? Why everything got to be of who's going to control what and who's going to do what? If we ain't here together and we doing this together, why can't we continue to do this together? Why can't we both sit down and pay these bills together? Why can't we both sit down and cook together? If I'm out working and you out working, why I still got to come home and cook? Why can't we go in the kitchen and cook together? Why can't we do laundry together? We have sex together. We done had these kids together. We want to do everything together, but yet still I want to be of power. Why we have to give power to one person when both of y'all can hold the power to do the shit together? That's all I'm trying to say. And that's why I feel like communication is needed. Because why do one person needs to have power when y'all could just have the power together? Y'all say y'all come together as one. If y'all both one, then why one person have to be higher than the next? That's all I'm trying to say. Or we in this together, but then yet still, you still want to have that power. If we in this together, why can't we do it together?
Have I not displayed the whole time that I have our best interest in mind? What is so hard to say, well, yeah, I will give you that? What's so hard about it?
What is so hard for you to be equal with your partner?
What did you say
but
yes to?
Why was it so hard for you? See, I didn't say yes. I never said yes. Okay,
we're because about the ones that said yes to the relationships.
Because majority of the time when most women get into relationships, they want to be equals. If you come into a relationship to become one, you're one. If you go in the hospital or something becomes ill, guess what? You have your partner that's going to be there to help you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, y'all are equals. Y'all come together. It's a partnership. Marriage is a partnership. Marriage is not, okay, now I got my daddy in the house and I got to go listen to my daddy, or my mama at home. My mama going to tell me what I got to do. No, you don't want to be controlled. We don't want to be controlled. We want to be equals. We want to love. And that's what it is. We reciprocate the same thing. So why can't we just go into a relationship as a partnership? It's a freaking, if you want to get married, you go and it's contract. It's a freaking contract, right? So therefore, why can't y'all be partners? You a partnership with anybody else doing business, but you don't want to do business with your wife because you want to control her. You want to take lead. You want to have this last say so or everything, when in fact, y'all supposed to be partners. And that's where things go left. Bring that communication together, talk together, work together. Okay, if you good at doing this, okay, this is what we established before we even said yes. These are the things that we put in place before we said yes. That's why we together. People get married and forget that. People get married like, yeah, now I got you. Listen to me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And that's where things start going left. It's a partnership. That's what people don't understand. Partnership.
Nate, read that comment.
Partnership. I can't.
Oh yeah, she about to. When we get off, she gonna slam that laptop. Listen, when we get off of this, before we close out, Nate,
I'm in charge
again. The head and tail, president, vice president. What Darren Jones said, we can do it together, but I'm in charge. Both have power, but one is in charge. The president and vice president come up and they talk. At the end of the day, the president makes a decision because the responsibility of said activity falls on the president.
She will let that guy their job do.
No, but that's what I said. You still talk, you still come together, you have that conversation, y'all talk about it, and boom. Now he's up there, he's going to be the spokesperson. You're the spokesperson of the relationship, but we already spoke about everything. We agreed to everything. We agreed to everything.
Her manager at her job don't get that type of backlash.
Yes, they do. I guarantee they do. I guarantee you they do.
She probably understands that Connor makes the final decision in this situation. It ain't personal. It ain't hateful. It has nothing to do with that. He just took on this role in this particular situation.
And that's fine. You can do that. But what I'm trying to say is those decisions cannot be made by yourself. That's all I'm saying. Okay, but that's what I was saying the whole time. Now, you got to come your partnership. I said you got to speak. You got to speak to your partner. One is not of higher than the other. It's like we're gonna come together. We're gonna speak, and I'm gonna let you do your thing. That's what I said. But that's what I said.
Listen,
That's what I said.
I'm getting out of here because the G series became something more than I could imagine. I just want to use a point of reference. The Bible says the man is the head, not the tail. I don't know. It's in there somewhere, name. Darren Jones, it's not hard. Wives want to be led by their men, period. Listen, closing out. You know what? Because we're not going to tackle Nay overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, y'all can't because I already have my beliefs and I believe in what I believe. And then what works for me is gonna have to work for me. And it have to work for anybody that comes along. Just like when y'all get married, want to marry somebody, y'all marry somebody because whatever that person brought to the table, it worked for you. So I have to do what works for me.
Nay,
and that's just what
you're gonna make someone a beautiful wife one day.
Listen, Nate, you spoke that, but some of the things you said is kind of why things are out of whack. It can't be two heads, but it can't be two heads. It's a man and as a woman. We have a perfect dynamic. God shaped that together.
If it wasn't for women, you wouldn't be here.
Let me tell you something, Nate. Take two keys.
We bring life. If you get me pregnant and I find out I'm pregnant, I can make every option.
I got you what?
If you get me pregnant,
you're welcome.
Hold on, no. If you get me pregnant, I'm the one that control. I'm the one that controls whether I bring that life in here or not. So if I don't bring that life in here, if I say no, it ain't happening. Guess what? I make that decision. You might contribute to that decision, but I make that last final decision.
Doctor, give me your social media information because they don't realize two keys don't open up nothing. Mm-hmm. They bump. You can take two keys.
Bump. Just gotta talk. You gotta do what works for you.
Two keys.
Whoever come to my life, listen, I won't have a problem letting you be the man. I promise you. I will fall all the way completely the way back.
How to do it.
Nope. I just tell you my expectations and that's it. You in control.
Yeah. NaySimone, you got an offer.
That's it. As long. Sorry.
Somebody said, "Come join the panel." He's been ready for you all day.
Oh,
Chris,
gosh.
the date doctor, the man who is both of y'all are celebrities. I'm glad to have y'all on the G series. Y'all are my initial guests. So give them your social media because they need to talk to you, date doctor, and then you can. Then I'm gonna come to Thee NaySimone.
Well, I am 1/4 the Black Super Friends podcast, so you can always directly contact me on the Black Super Friends podcast. That's on IG and Facebook. My personal IG is King Chris. That's King Chris spelled incorrectly on purpose. Oh man, look at her. Jesus, the man hate just flowing off of her. He's glowing.
Listen, I root for my brothers. I promise you, I root for my brothers. I root for my brothers all day.
Me again, Nay, please.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's okay.
Sorry, I apologize.
It's the nation.
Because I thought it was me. I didn't know he was gonna bring your big head on the show anyway. I thought it was just me and Horace. And then I saw this little big head pop on the screen. I was like, oh, he brought a big head on. I'm just playing with you.
Oh man.
I'm just messing with you.
Which one were you talking about? And Facebook, I go by Chris Leo. And you can always I do a video vlog called The Date Doctor Mini Clinics. Just something to help you out, you know what I'm saying? Try to give you some things that can help the 2020 man date in this new age world. That's all I got.
Thee NaySimone, the 200K TikTok star. Please let people, because people want to get at you. Right now, you got an angry mob outside.
And that's fine because you know what? Everybody's still stuck into, everybody wants the world to revolve, to evolve, but yet still, they still caught up with a lot of the old ways. So either you're going to evolve or you're going to stick to the old ways. If you want to stick to the old ways, you do old things, you make old things happen. But if you still talking about if you thinking modern ways, yes, we got to talk modern ways. And you talking about home? No, I said that to those who wants a woman to be at home and want to take control of everything. I said that for those type of people. But yes, you can follow me at Thee NaySimone all across the board: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You know, I don't tweet, but yeah. Everything else, pretty much, you can find me across the board. And like I said, if you want to talk modern times, we could talk modern times. If you want to go back way old school, if you still want to have those old school ways, then you got to make sure that you find somebody that's right with you with the old school ways. You want the old school ways, keep your wife at home and you do everything. If you want the modern ways, you got to deal with the
Listen
modern
to
way
her,
of
fellas.
thinking.
Don't listen to her.
I'm
fellas.
just saying, if you want to date and you want to work, if you really want to get in the mind of modern women and what we feel like, you have to listen. Because if you still stuck in the past and trying to bring the past to the future, to the present, it ain't gonna work. And that's what people.
Unmarried
that's
woman?
what, and that's where it works. The reason why I'm not married is because I don't want to get divorced.
Oh, that's cute. I say those.
Darren,
If
John.
we gonna be
I say those
married, we
things.
gonna be married.
You got some game, girl. You got some game.
If
I'm
we
running
gonna
that
be
show
married,
back.
we gonna be married.
Oh,
That's
This will
it.
be the
It
next
ain't no
show.
such thing as divorce.
Player, I got you.
This is gonna be the next show right here. Darren Jones, thank you, sir. Independent modern woman. You had wives and you had the independent modern woman. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Because apparently we got something new being created in America. So I'm getting off here because you guys is ridiculous today. So
Ridiculous. Listen,
and
I have
Nate,
my cup.
listen, what I did today was I had a series that I was lining up, but I've been supposed to have a show with these two people on at the same time because they're so much alike that it's ridiculous. So I had to seize that opportunity. So I needed to have, and it was more than I expected. I knew it was going to be something, but I didn't know it was going to be the male and female version of each other. No, you know what? No, that's not good either. They're a good match for each other. So y'all stay tuned for another episode of the G series. Thank you for tuning in. Stay on logged in, guys, before you can go backstage. All right.
They be capping.
Yes.